Wendy Walsh. I have a PhD in clinical psychology. I'm a psychology professor. I love to do these live streams every Wednesday to weigh in on your love lives because I've written 3 books on relationships and I'm a little bit obsessed with the science of love. And on this one camera up here, we have Instagram, welcome. And down here we have StreamYard, which should be everywhere else. Let me open up the comments so that I can see them. First thing I love everybody to do is please show me where you're watching from. It's always nice how to get your girlfriend to be involved with your family. You invite them, you see if they come, right? If you've got more questions, you can fly them, but let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to know that my Instagram people are often all over the world. If you are new to me and my channel, I have been for 8 years on iHeart Radio with the Dr. Wendy Walsh Show that is all about the science of love. Hi, Texas, how are you? More to Texas, North Carolina. Hi, Myrtle Beach. Hi, let me try to put my camera up a little bit so I can see better. I'm looking over my computer. Hacienda Heights, local, you're here. I'm in Los Angeles for those who are looking. I thought I opened up the comments over here on StreamYard. Can't post comments to some destinations. Learn more. I don't know why. Anyway, this camera over here should be YouTube. There we go. YouTube is coming on board, and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. And up here we have, hi, Melbourne, Australia. And we also have Georgia. Love Georgia. Inland Empire, hello, over here on YouTube. Here's a good question, interesting. Trabuco Canyon, is that local? Is that near here? Jacksonville, Florida, hello. Georgia, hi, good to see you guys. Upland, California, nice. Wonderful to see. Oh, there's my friend Joan. Hey, Joan, how are you? What do I think about the Netflix love show, Love is Blind? It's entertainment. That's what it is. I understand, particularly men are more visually wired than women. So for them to learn how to have a relationship that's not just about the visual is probably good and important. But really, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of these reality shows are fake in all kinds of ways. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say about that. Down here we have Paco in Texas and Wooster from Inland Empire. Hello. But there's a question here I want to answer too. Hi, Dr. Wendy. I did so much for my brother-in-law, and I just want my girlfriend's brother to do a lot for me in return. Okay. Let me just say this about all relationships. Relationships are not about what you get. They're about what you give. And if you are left with feelings of longing and wanting and saying they're not doing enough for me, and maybe you've communicated your needs in a healthy, loving way, then maybe it's about you to focus on the longing, right? I mean, we can't get people to behave. We can't get people to be nice to us. We can put boundaries when they're being cruel to us, right? But we can't change who they are. We can say, it's not comfortable being around you. I'm going to move the other direction when you're around. So, oh, Matthew's got a good question that's coming up next. Let's see what I have here. Why is there this narrative on what? Social media that women over 35 are too old and men don't want them? Well, first of all, whatever you think is out there as the narrative, I don't know why I have a hair on my lipstick or something, is sadly what you may believe internally. Here's the deal, folks. Evolutionary psychologists would say women in their childbearing years and their fertility window are considered more attractive. Even if a man doesn't want to have a baby, on some unconscious level, he can tell when she's fertile. Now, here's what we know. Because of our very long life expectancies, people will be having relationships across the lifespan. And in fact, research shows that peers are attracted to peers across the lifespan because they have the same references, the same life experience, right? So if you believe that all men want a younger woman, then those will be the men that you will keep meeting because life is often a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm a woman of a certain age. I did not want to date below my age because I like peers. I was able to find somebody on a dating app and who is a biological peer and a psychological peer. And I never thought for a minute that I'm undateable because of my age. Because if you believe that, then that will be true. I must have some kind of trauma to think that porn or sex-related material is harmful to men. Go get therapy. I don't think it's harmful to men at all. I just know that the research is that when chronic pornography, excessive use of pornography, is tied to religiosity, bear with me, it can become a compulsion. I hate to use the word addiction because porn addiction is not a real diagnosis. Now, when it becomes a compulsion, then it can impact people's relationships. Either some men may suffer from a DE, delayed ejaculation, where they have trouble reaching a climax in monogamy because they are always accustomed to new, fresh images, right? Or just the fact that they would sometimes rather use their pornography than be with their partner means that the other parts, the other reasons for sex, helping the bond, etc., start to go down. Okay, I've been married for 15 years, never felt truly in love, and finally had the courage at 44 to leave, but don't want to hurt my two kids who are 12 and 8. Okay, I have a few things to say about that. You're not going to like what I'm going to say. You mentioned that you've never been in love with your spouse. So, actually, romantic love is a pretty new invention in our evolution. And there are plenty of cultures around the world where romantic love is not required to create an economic nest or a nurturing nest for children. Now, having said that, if there is abuse, if your relationship is a toxic nest for children, if there's physical violence, if there's chronic emotional abuse, if there's addiction, if there's chronic cheating, if there's child abuse, then you're doing your kids a favor by leaving. But the research shows that actually two bickering or sort of distant parents in one house is still better for a kid than a single parent. Now, I speak from a place of having been a single parent for 18 years myself. In my case, I think if you follow me, you know I'm a survivor of domestic violence and there was no choice, right? So do I judge? No. Do I suggest that you think long and hard about what's best for the kids? And are you really in a toxic environment or are you bored? Because if you're bored, there's some things that you can do. You can go to a couples therapist and you can work on your relationship. You don't have long to stay. I always say that when you have kids, your commitment to them is about 18 years. And after that, our culture says you're free to go, right? So until then, you're wise to think about your kids' feelings. When I was young and I didn't date, sometimes men would say to me, well, you know, a happy mother makes happy kids. And if you're not taking care of your own needs and you're not going out, then you're an unhappy person. And I used to respond to them, you know what? My kids' happiness is my happiness. There's no separation. I can't tolerate living with a sad kid for long. I mean, obviously we have to let our kids experience lots of feelings, but certainly not at my doing. So anyway, these are hard, tough decisions. I just tell you what the research says and give you some options. Oh, Cheryl Ryan has a nice question here. They say to water your relationship, help. Also, I went from anxious attachment to secure. It's an amazing feeling with no roller coaster. Thanks for all your advice. Yes, love should not feel like a roller coaster. Those butterflies in your stomach are likely anxiety. Okay, so how to water. I always say water, think of your relationship as your garden. Water what you want to grow, not the weeds, meaning don't nag, don't be, always complaining. Catch them being good on a regular basis and reward them with the things that they like. It's usually some kind of affection or kind words, and you will be amazed at what can grow. Okay, I just want to let everybody know that I do this live stream for just 15 minutes every Wednesday, and then I head over to my exclusive Zoom room on Patreon. And so that starts at 6:30, and you can always come over. It's patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. Okay. Any advice for a disorganized attachment style? Yes, you need to be in therapy with a licensed therapist who understands attachment theory and works from that lens. And that's a fair question to ask a therapist that you're about to go to is, hey, do you work through the lens of attachment theory? And talk to a few and interview them if you like. Oh, I didn't answer Matthew's question. How to keep the spark and honeymoon phase feeling as long as possible. Well, first of all, I want everyone to understand that healthy love has all kinds of stages and phases, and you will come in and out of the honeymoon phase at all different times of your relationship life. If the goal is to only keep the honeymoon phase, you're going to feel a sense of loss on a regular basis. What happens is during the first year or two of a relationship, your brain is assaulted with these delicious neurohormones that create the bond. And then we want to go back to that feeling all the time. But instead, we should focus on appreciating the new stages that come up. You know, there's so much to be said about mature, companionate love. It may have less sex, it may have lots of affection, may have deep respect for each other. But Matthew, I do want to answer your question. And the answer is novelty, novelty, novelty. And I don't mean strange partners in your bed. I mean going to new places, watching your partner in new experiences, in new places, whether you're traveling, whether you're hiking, whether you're seeing museums or gardening, doing new things together actually changes the schema of how you regard your partner. So doing lots of different things is good for you. Oh, there's Hunt saying hello. Hi, Hunt. Nice to see you too. You just started a podcast. I can't wait to hear. Good, good, good. I'll put your comment up. Do couples have to have joint accounts? Okay, this is an excellent question. There's no one right way to be a couple. But if you have healthy interdependence, which means you don't want to be fused and merged into one person, one account for everything. You also don't want to be so autonomous that two separate accounts for everything means like, what's mine is mine and yours is yours and we're just separate, right? You want to find something in between. So the financial wizards, analysts, experts out there suggest that healthy couples have 3 accounts, that they have one account for the household expenses that they put in proportionately based on their income. So in other words, let's say somebody makes $100,000 a year and somebody else makes $50,000 a year. Then one person will put in double the amount into the household fund. Now, how much goes in that fund in total? Depends what your bills are. Rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, whatever you decide is going to be your average thing. And hey, if you can build up a little slush fund in the joint account, then you can go on a vacation together. And then separately, the two of you should have your own separate autonomous accounts for discretionary spending so that you don't have somebody breathing down your neck every time you're buying something, a little splurge for yourself. Also, it allows you to buy nice gifts for your significant other without them knowing the price. So that's the way to go. You guys are talking to each other. Thanks, Tammy, giving Veronica good advice. I have time for, I think, one more question before I head over to my Patreon Zoom. What is my favorite book? Oh, you know, my favorite book is written by a Dutch author named Michael Faber, who lives in Scotland, and is called The Crimson Petal and the White. And it is probably one of the best novels set in Victorian England and researched so well. And it says so much about the trauma women went through at the time. It follows the lives of 2 women whose lives merge. One is a prostitute and one is a wealthy wife, slowly going crazy in her constraints that she's in. And it's about the limited choices for women at the time. And this male writer has such a deep understanding for women in strict patriarchy. It's called The Crimson Petal and the White. And with that, I am heading over to my Patreon Zoom room. If you'd like to join me, you go to patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. I'm there every Wednesday at 6:30. So nice to see you guys on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Where are all you guys? You're everywhere. Happy holidays. I'm probably going to go dark for 2 weeks so I can take a break, but I'll be back in the new year. I think we all deserve a little holiday time so we can work on our close relationships with our family members. So I wish you all peace and loving connections with each other over the holidays. Thanks for being here. Bye.